America's natural gas industry is riding a political and economic wave, according to the news and information website Axios. In an exclusive interview with this site, natural gas pioneer Charif Souki said the industry is riding the wave now, if we can figure out how to do it. Amy Harder covers energy and climate for Axios and spoke with Souki for this piece. She joins me now from Washington. So, Amy, in writing about the natural gas industry, you say, quote, much like surfing, it's not easy and won't last forever. What is it that people like Souki have to figure out as they work to make natural gas the dominant energy source?
Yeah, well, natural gas has really evolved, transformed really in the last decade. A decade ago, the United States was trying to import the fuel, and Charif Souki, as CEO of the company Cheniere, was betting billions that the U.S. needed to import the fuel. Just a few years later, around 2010-11, the U.S. shale natural gas boom occurred, and Souki reversed gears and bet billions more on exporting the fuel. So there's been so much change, and now the industry is going through growing pains. Exporting the fuel takes a lot of infrastructure, and the pricing mechanisms are really changing incredibly fast all over the world, and the market is going from what have really been regional markets around the world to an entire global market that's stitched together, much like the oil industry is and oil prices are.
Well, do you think that natural gas will ever reach that status as the world's dominant energy source?
Right. Well, Souki is certainly betting on that. In my interview with him, he says that within 10 years, we're going to have a global gas market that looks quite similar to oil, the way it is now. Another thing that has the wind at the back of the natural gas industry is that it's a lot cleaner than oil and coal. So executives like Souki are really hoping and betting that natural gas can replace coal and electricity all over the world, and also in some places, oil in transportation and shipping.
Well, you write that this wave's so-called easier part is politics. Why is natural gas getting support from Washington now?
Right, and in part because President Trump is in the White House. Natural gas, and in particular natural gas exports, which is really what Souki's company Tellurian is doing, is really a big part of President Trump's energy agenda, and also his environmental agenda, because natural gas is cleaner than oil and coal. And also, ironically, if Hillary Clinton had won, it would be a really different picture for natural gas, potentially, because environmental groups are increasingly opposed to natural gas. But given Trump is in the White House, it's really made the politics a little bit easier. I would also say that during the Obama administration, President Obama did support natural gas. Maybe not quite as vocally as President Trump is now, but the fuel really does have the bipartisan support. I would say that the exception is some environmental groups have grown increasingly opposed.
You also wrote about the harder parts facing the industry, like economics. What are some of the roadblocks it's faced recently or may face soon?
Right. Well, I call it the Goldilocks problem. Natural gas, much like most commodities, they don't want prices too high because demand will go down, but they don't want prices too low either, otherwise they can't make money. So natural gas has historically been incredibly volatile. For the last several years, they've been relatively stable, but going forward, as this industry hopes to go from a regional market to a global one, all bets are off. And so Souki is having some trouble with his company making deals with other companies that want to import the fuel because the market is changing so fast. So that's a big open question if companies like his can make money.
All right. Fascinating to hear what could be next here. Amy Harder from Axios, thank you so much.
Good to be here.